Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today I get to share with you a project for Spellbinders and Fun Stampers Journey. This is the Stamp of the Month Club Kit for July 2019. It's called The Age of Aquarium. Super cute, a lot of aquarium images in there. And to create my card, I'm also going to be using this die set. This is the aquarium box die set, and it's meant to coordinate with the Stamp of the Month Club Kit. It's sold separately. It's not included in the Stamp of the Month Club Kit, but it's super cute. I'm going to create an aquarium using a few of the dies in this set, and it's just the perfect size. I'm actually going to make a gift card today, a gift and a card in one. So I thought it'd be fun to use this die for the card that I'm going to create. So I'm going to die cut out one background panel, and then I'm going to inlay the rectangle on the background die itself and then create a window in that. So I'll have two pieces there, the front and the back of my aquarium. And then on a piece of soft gray cardstock, I'll cut out the other three elements. Now this piece here, it doesn't have a bottom, so when you cut it out, you can customize the length that you want. You can create fun waves with it. You can create a little sandy area on the bottom of your aquarium, but it's super neat. So everything is die cut. All I'm doing is enforcing the score lines. Each side of this panel has score lines, so you just bend it over, and I'm just crisping up those fold lines with my bone folder. And I did use a lighter weight cardstock. This is Nina 80-pound cardstock, and it was just easier for me to fold over those edges. But there's our box, and this box size would create a really neat gift card box also, because a gift card will fit right in there. So this is our frame, the front frame part. I'm just reinforcing these score lines as well. You just fold them over and fold. The sides are actually longer than the frame itself. They're the same length as the back of your box, of course, but you just fold them over. For today's card, I did this once before. I created a refrigerator magnet to give as a gift, and then I added it to the card using a magnet. This way you could remove, your little frame box. In our case, it's the aquarium, and you can put it on the fridge. It makes a really cute little fridge ornament. That's the inside piece, and we're going to use that a little bit later on. But we're going to go ahead and fold the score lines for this piece. That rectangle piece is the bottom of the aquarium, and the domed shape piece is the very top of it. I'm going to put it together so you can kind of see how it goes. So you just layer your top frame over the bottom, and they kind of sandwich together. And then you would add your bottom frame piece here, and then you can put your little, I'm using this as a sea ground or an aquarium sandy area, but that's basically the die set that coordinates with the Stamp of the Month Club Kit. Okay, now I'm going to open up the top piece here. I'm going to add a little bit of glue, and then we're going to adhere a piece of acetate. I'm just going to trim it down so it fits on the inside of my score lines. This way it doesn't obstruct my score lines. Just using my glue, I'll add a thin strip of glue all around and attach my acetate. Now, at this, for the card today, you could create a shaker card with it, but I chose not to. I just chose to create a real 3D kind of element for the fridge. Okay, next I'm kind of playing with my sandy bottom piece. And I used a soft gray for that, and I decided I wanted it to be a little bit more brown. So I'm bringing in some oxide ink. This here is Vintage Photo, and I'm just using my small blending brush to cover the top portion of that little wavy area there. For my background, I'm going to be using more oxide ink. This is Peacock Feathers, and I'm just doing a light shading, going over the entire inside. Now I wasn't worried about hitting the sides of my aquarium because you won't be able to see it because the frame will cover it, which is nice. Okay, for my sentiment, I know I wanted to keep use a sentiment that says keep swimming, and a few of the little greenery pieces. So we're going to bring in some more oxide ink. This time we're going to use peeled paint. We're just going to ink it up and then stamp this a few times. It's kind of hard to see what the Stamp of the Month Club Kit is. I'll link it down below. If you guys click on it, it will show colored pictures of what the images look like. Yours will come in a package, a Fun Stamper's Journey package, but so you'll be able to see exactly what the stamps are. But I did stamp the coral. I stamped the coral with abandoned coral, and I thought we needed a couple variations of green. So I'm bringing in some twisted citron and stamping some of the longer greenery there. I think that looks really pretty. Okay, now we're going to stamp our sentiment here. I want to use my VersaFine Onyx Black ink. We're going to stamp that in the upper left corner. I'm just making sure it's straight. Now for my fish, you could go ahead and stamp your fish on your background panel if you wanted to, but I wanted to give it a little bit of a 3D look. I'm going to go ahead and trim this down just a little bit. It was a little too high. In fact, later on I trimmed it down a little bit more. But I wanted my fish to look like they were floating inside my aquarium here. But I think that looks really fun. Okay, for my fish, I'm going to be using, for this fish, I'm using Wilted Violet. No, Shaded Lilac. And then I'm doing a little shading with Seedless Preserves. So we have a little two-tone here going on. We'll stamp that. And then I'm going to take the second real pretty fish in there. And we're going to bring in some orangey tones. I thought we would use Spice Marmalade here. We'll ink up this fish. I'm going to do a little bit of shading with some Ripe Persimmon. And I'm just going around the edges of my stamp. The rubber stamps is kind of easy to do too because they are lifted a little bit higher than the clear stamps. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. And I think they look great. Now I'm going to take my scissors and go ahead and fussy cut each one of my little fishes out. I did leave a little bit of a white edge. Some of the little fins were very detailed, so a white edge helps with that. I'm going to go ahead and trim this down a little bit more. And then using my tape runner, I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to the bottom of my aquarium. After we have this done, I'll take some foam squares and we're going to flip over our fish and add a few pieces and place them on the inside of our aquarium. And with adding the foam tape this way, it does look like they're kind of floating in the water there. I'm going to put the purple one on the bottom, and then I have the orange one on the top. That kind of breaks up my coral color there, and I think that looks great. I did take my aqua shimmer pen, and this is great with your oxide inks to not only add sparkle, but it will help spread out that color a little bit and get rid of those harsh lines. Now for a little bit of something, I'm going to go ahead and add some clear bubbles on the inside of my aquarium. And at this point, if you wanted to add sequins or seed beads to create a shaker card, you could very well do that. But I thought if this was a refrigerator magnet, that it wouldn't be shaken so I wanted to just keep it simple. Okay, now to secure my window frame with the acetate on here, I'm just going over the inside of those scored edges with my glue, and I'll place this over the top of my back panel and just hold them down so they attach to the back piece, and we have a cute little aquarium. So cute. And it is on the thicker side. I would say it's about a 1/2 inch thick. This is what it would look like if I added the top and bottom. I decided not to add the gray. I wanted to keep it nice and bright and vibrant, so maybe the gray cardstock was kind of the wrong choice. But I did want to have a little bit of color in my background. So I'm using this die set. This die set is from Spellbinders, and it's called the Flower Background. I went ahead and used my blending brushes and did a little bit of shading. I used peacock feathers and twisted citron just kind of blended them in the middle to create 3 different tones here. I'm going to use my, and this will fit my entire card front, so it's an A2 size card front. But I'm going to use my glue and attach this to my white card base. I thought the flowers were so pretty, but they kind of reminded me of bubbles. And so once I have my aquarium in the center, if you concentrate, it really looks like flowers in the background, but at first glance it kind of reminded me of bubbles, so I thought it went really well together. Now, to attach my aquarium to my card base, I have 2 pieces of magnetic sheets. These are self-adhesive magnetic sheets, and they're actually leftover sheets from what I use with my dies, and I'll link them down below in case you guys want to check it out. I buy the big pack for my dies. But I put 2 together, and then I adhered 1 to the card base, and I'm going to remove the release paper off the top piece. This way I can center my aquarium, and then all you have to do is remove it. You flip it over, the magnet's there, you can stick it on your fridge. So it's kind of a gift and a card. It did bother me that the magnet, when you removed the aquarium, was on my card base. I kind of didn't like that. So I thought you could fix that. So I'm taking the inside piece here, and I'm going to do a little shading with the same peacock feathers. And we'll do a little stamping on this. I'm going to do the same colors for the leaves with the peeled paint, and then also Twisted Citron. We'll stamp a few of these leaves on this little panel. I'm going to grab that smaller sea greenery, ink that up with my Twisted Citron, stamp that a few times, and then I'm going to take one of the fishes. I like the shape of the orange fish, so I'm going to place that on there, and I'll ink that up again with my Spice Marmalade, and this time I'm doing a little bit of shading with my Abandoned Coral, just around the edges, so we have a little bit of a gradient. And then we'll stamp that right over our little greenery. So this is basically 1 layer, but I think it looks pretty. I am going to use my black marker and dot the center of my eyes, and I did do that with the fish inside the aquarium also. Okay, this way I can lift up my aquarium. My ink's still wet, so I was a little hesitant, but I am going to flip it over. I'm going to use my tape runner and add some tape behind my little panel that we just created. And then this is going to go over the magnet. The cardstock that I'm using again is the Nina 80 pound, and so it's pretty thin, and the magnet still holds to my card base, no worries. So this way, when you lift it up, you can write your message inside, but when you lift it up, it's not just a magnet. You have a little bit of color on your card. And then your little aquarium can go on the fridge. I think it's so cute. And that's my card for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the Spellbinders July 2019 Stamp of the Month Club Kit. If you're interested in the club kits, I'll link it down below. Or even if you want to check out the aquarium box die, I'll link that as well. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I wish you a fantastic day. I appreciate all of your wonderful comments. They are so uplifting and inspiring. They keep me going. But have a lovely day. We will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.